Hello, Aldwyn, Altuney here. Welcome to Media Queen TV. We're going to be chatting with an amazing guest today all about how to stand out online and have clients ask to buy. Can't wait to hear from Steve Brossman today. Before we bring him on to chat, though, I just want to tell you a little bit about this extraordinary man. He is a former national professional track champion and a 9 times Amazon best-selling author. He has 20 years TV and video experience, including hosting his own TV show on Channel 9 and was executive producer for Warner Brothers. In 2012, Steve was named internationally #1 video marketing influencer of the year. He's created several 6- and 7-figure multinational businesses of his own, including inventing and marketing an environmental product selling 4 million units into 26 countries. Steve has spoken in 15 countries and trained over 65,000 entrepreneurs, professionals, and business owners to stand out in their market. Last year, he was selected and published with 40 of the world's most innovative marketers. His latest back pocket guide is Self-Selling Secrets, and he's currently helping businesses and professionals attract high-quality clients and sell more easily, including having them asking to buy. Welcome, Steve.
I think I must have been born in the last century to do all that. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know whether to feel energized or worn out.
Well, I was worn out just reading it. That is extraordinary. What an achievement. And I must say, being an elite athlete, I'm sure would have had a big impact on your professional life as well. So I'd love to hear a bit more about your background, about how you came to be a professional track champion. If you could just share a little bit about your background, how that happened for you.
It wasn't ever meant to happen. I went through high school and all school, and I was an okay runner. And the truth is, I was actually born with severely bent legs. And my nickname 10, 11, and 12-year-old was Bumblefoot because I was bent legs, bandy, pigeon-toed, and I kept tripping over my own feet. But I really love sport. I got pretty good at it. And then in my last year, I just really wanted to leave on a high note. And I said to Dad, I want to win the athletics championships. And he said, okay, well, let's get a coach. And we were training, and this is a good business metaphor as well. And we were training and training hard, but all we did was run around the block. But when I got my sprint coach, we did things absolutely different. We did things that were specific to getting faster and winning races. And as it happened, I did pretty well. I did win the high school, and then went on to regional, went on to state, and got to the finals. No magic fairy tale there. And my coach said, you're doing pretty good. You've really improved. Why don't you stick at it? And I thought, I'm having fun. And he had a professional track group, and my progressive goal was, okay, I want to beat that guy out of the group, and I want to beat that guy and that guy, and then win some races and then get better and better. And within 2 years, it happened really fast. I trained my absolute butt off. And at the age of 19, just turned 19, I was the youngest ever national professional track champion. So from somebody who set a goal that I could do and achieve and really did everything to achieve it, I just kept going and then actually going. So that's how I got into professional athletics.
Wow. And you were going for the Olympics at some stage, is that right?
Well, yeah, as it happened, I became quite good as a professional. And at that point in time, there was a few things that we had to do to get to the Olympics. And so I had to serve what they did as a suspension to go back to being an amateur. Crazy. Amateurs actually made more money than the professional, but that was the rules back then.
Right.
Theirs was all under the table, and we had to actually win ours. But anyhow, I was doing that and was just training and doing lots and lots of things on top of each other. But I ended up doing lots and lots and lots of the wrong things. And without the right guidance, I crushed 3 discs in my back. It was just impact. And one day I got on the blocks, 10 foot tall and bulletproof, training for the Olympics and feeling good. Bang, came out of the blocks, couldn't get up off the ground. And, I'm struggling to get out of bed. And it was through rehab that I fell in love with the fitness industry. And I thought I could do this and I could do this better. So I actually become an entrepreneur by accident.
Right. And a very good one at that,
It
because
was,
you've been around a long time. I remember first seeing you, gosh, nearly 20 years ago now. You were doing video marketing seminars back in the day on the Gold Coast,
yeah,
and we were just chatting earlier that you're right now around where I grew up, was Northern Beaches area of Sydney. I went to Mossman High School, and you're back in Sydney now with your lovely wife Pam.
yeah. Well,
You've been
my
together.
son just left Mossman High, and we live 1 kilometre from where you went to school. So
Amazing.
that's a big turnaround. It was great. Yeah.
Amazing. And now I'm on the Gold Coast. So we're tag teaming here. And I was also an elite athlete. I was a top junior
Yes.
table tennis player. So I've seen so many elite athletes go on to be very successful in business, because there's certain principles that come with being an elite athlete that are crucial for business success too, right? And I can think of discipline, I can think of persistence, perseverance, having that competitive nature about you.
Absolutely.
All of that is so relevant to business. So how has it helped you in your business to having that elite background?
The big thing, and I wrote this in the book before last, Exceed, is all about momentum goals. And really, that's how I've achieved everything. If I'd have set a goal back in high school that I wanted to be a state or a national champion, I'd have fallen back a little bit behind schedules. I probably wouldn't have attacked it with total belief. It was like, oh, yeah, that's too far away. And that's where people set the big wrong goals, and it's not total belief, it's not total commitment, and they don't put everything into it. And I've learned from all the things that I developed as a track athlete, and then put it into practice. And everything that you said. It's discipline, it's habits. And I've got a little sign here. Every day I go to work, I compete. Now, that's not against anybody else except me. I hate to lose, and I hate not to be progressing forward. I was just talking with my son about him having a watch where he can track his running. He's just going out by himself, but he wants to beat his time, and he wants to get better at doing this. And I go out with mates on the bikes, and if somebody's in front of me, I've just got to try to beat them. I get home and I go and see, did I better myself today? And that's the big thing as a professional athlete that I always try to do. And if I was to hire and I was to look at two different people and they had exactly the same qualifications, background, experience, I would always hire the sports person, because they would have that competitive nature, and I would want them to fight and win for me. And that would be just, if there was nothing else different, I would go for that person, because, as you know, we're a different breed.
Yes, absolutely. Totally different breed. Definitely outside the box. That's for sure. And it's interesting, we've both got media background as well. So 20 years TV and video experience, hosting your own TV show on Channel 9, executive producer for Warner Brothers, extraordinary. So how did you get involved in that?
Well, as a track athlete and at that level, I was often interviewed on TV. When I was going to different races around the countryside, people would, have the TV interviews, and I've actually seen a few from way, way back, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I was horrible. I could just sit there. I remember one interview, and they were asking me about a race and all that sort of thing, and I'm sort of sitting there hunched over. I was like, you're doing everything that I'm teaching not to do. But when I opened up my my health club, I did it differently to most, and I started a kids club program. And back up in Maitland, Newcastle, in the Hunter Valley where I was, there was a show on TV called Big Dog and Friends. It was a variety magazine type show that had lots of cartoons, and there was this big character, Big Dog. And when I set up the kids club, I thought, you know what, they should have an exercise segment or an activity segment on the show. It was a 3-hour show. And so I put the proposal into them. Within 2 days, the phone rang. We had a meeting. Within 2 weeks, they said, yep, you got a deal. 2 weeks later, you have to be on. And so I cut my teeth in kids TV. And again, I watched myself, and I was great live. I was great doing all these things with kids. And I thought they were going to tell me to tone it down. You're a bit too over the top for TV. And when I got in the edit suite, I looked at the first show and I thought, oh shit, that's boring. You know, and like you would know, people on one side of the camera, it doesn't come through. You've really got to coach them. And I learnt over those 2 years how to get through the camera. And then I had a vision of a bigger show, and I pitched it and I pitched it and I pitched it and I pitched it. And finally, Channel 9 took it up, and it was great experience. Yeah, writing it, hosting it, producing it, organizing. It was everything. So, and then Warner Brothers and some other people came knocking on the door, and they said, look, we need your help. We want to get the Looney Tunes into a different classification. We want to do this. Can you do it? To cut a long story short, and I'm not allowed to tell the backstory, is we were quite successful. I got kicked out and ripped off, but the show is still in the format that I wrote, hanging around on TV.
Well, it's unfortunate that there are quite a few sharks in the media industry, as we know, in the traditional media industry. However, you know, I do believe in karma, and I think what comes around goes around. And I think as long as, you know, you do the best you can, which it sounds like you did an amazing job in TV and with what you produced. And the thing is, you can always go out and produce something else similar again if you want to, right? You can always reinvent yourself in other ways. And, you know, the world of media now is so vast that, you know, we've got the whole mass media world now. I guess back then there was no social media even, right? Back in before 2004, there was no Facebook.
I remember the first time I ever used this, sorry for butting in, the first time I ever used this line, I was with somebody and she came to me, she said, I want to get this show on TV and blah, 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 blah. And YouTube was really taking off, and we were helping people get some good results with YouTube. And I just sat there and it came out and said, you're bigger than TV. And there's a transition in time where you could get to a point and you say, don't be constrained by TV. You are now bigger than TV. And you look at some of the biggest and the best, they've gone out and they've gone bigger than TV.
Yes, exactly. And now with the mass media of world, of course, if you go in traditional media, you're also getting exposure in social media and on websites, which is very exciting now for anyone who wants to get a message out. We're not just being fed certain images by certain major media conglomerates out there. Now we have independent media. We do still have censorship. In fact, it's been very interesting since COVID to see the censorship in Facebook and YouTube and certain places that's been happening, these fact checkers that have come out of nowhere. Anyway, I always say do your own research when it comes to that stuff. But, you know, there's also a whole lot of alternative media out there, a whole lot of good news media now, because a lot of people are sick of all the negative media that we've been fed for a long time too. So we're really in changing times at the moment. And you know, you're very good with video marketing. I'd love to hear some of your tips. That you did video marketing for a long time. And of course, we're talking today about standing out online, and video is so crucial for that. You know, they say a photo's worth 1,000,000 words, a photo's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth 1,000,000 words, right? So,
Forrester research, I'll jump in, and we've been quoting this for years. Forrester research says that 1 minute of video is equal to 1.8 million words.
Wow. That's huge.
And I tell my people, because I even though I've got 5 of my own books, and then I've got collaborations with other people where I've written parts of the book, and I don't really like writing. Give me a camera, not a keyboard. I would rather jump in front of a camera and communicate with people, because they could see the real me. I could really communicate with them. They can get a taste of me. But a keyboard, how many times have you been on a chat with somebody or got an email from somebody and either got offended or misconstrued what they wrote? But if you get a video from them or you talk to them, it's absolutely different. You know, you can see the whites of their eyes. You can see what they're really meaning. Even if the words are different, they feel something different. They can feel through the camera and not just read the words.
Yes, it's a whole other level of connection that happens when you're on video. And particularly now, we're also in, you know, the trust economy too at the moment. You know, we've got hundreds of billions of dollars of scammers out there happening every year, you know, and so people are wondering who they're going to trust. And, you know, people need, 7 to 21 touch points now before they decide to do business with you. I heard that the other day. So, you know, people need to see you consistently getting out there and see you on camera to know you're a real person as well. So I'd love to hear, Steve, what are some of your top tips for for video marketing?
Yeah, I've moved away from being, back in the day when we first started, we could help people get seen and get their videos out there and things like that. And there's some really, really good people that just do the video SEOs and all of those sorts of things. There are some great tips on you working with people on YouTube. I'm actually doing a collaboration with an English guy. He actually builds and sells YouTube channels. He helped one of his clients sell his for in the 30 millions.
Wow.
He's about to sell one of his for 7 figures. So he's all about getting the traffic, and I'm all about helping people get comfortable in front of the camera and presenting and packaging themselves that way. One of the best things and we're very thankful for this little device here.
Yes.
And we're very thankful for live streaming, because it's actually lowered the acceptance rate of quality videos. As long as you've got good lighting, you've got good sound, and you can communicate through the camera, then the quality of the video must match your audience. So if you're pitching and you want to do a video for the multi-million-dollar companies and corporations, of course, you've got to have high quality production values. But if you're working with the small business people, they want to buy you, and they would actually probably get a little turned off if it's too slick and too high production. So the production quality must match the people. The other thing is there are three main parts to a quality video, and people here might want to take this down. First and foremost, it's how the video looks, and that's the production quality, the production of it. The second is the content. What is it that you're saying? Does it make sense? Is it the right message to the right people? But the third one, which is what most people miss, it's the emotive engagement. And the big thing is people will forget 80% of what you've said, but they will remember how you made them feel. So as you're going, and we taught this right back in our beginning video marketing, the purpose of the video is to take the viewer on an emotional journey where in the end, in their mind, they make a logical decision. They've felt it. They've got a trustworthy feeling of you. You've given the right information. They're feeling good about what they're about to do. They're going to make that logical decision that whatever the next step is, whatever the video is about. So the biggest takeaway in any sort of video marketing is, what is it that you want them to feel, and what is the end result? Most people will just say, I've got something to say, I've got an idea, I've got a video to shoot, but the video is all about that one-to-one emotive connection. You might have your video seen by millions. You might want it seen by millions, but they're not all in the same damn room sitting on each other's knee. So it's one person at a time that you're really connecting with. And if you can do your videos and say, who am I talking to? What am I saying? And how do I want them to feel before, during, and after the video? Then you're going to have some awesome videos.
Yeah, I love that, because, people want not just education now, they want entertainment, and so does the media, right? So does mass media. We want to be entertained. We want to feel things. And, that's why people love movies, right? Because often they're crying and they're laughing, and, unless it's a horror movie, in which case they're probably crying the whole way through. But generally speaking, people want to feel things. They want to feel like they're alive, and, feeling those emotions just makes you feel alive. And they want to feel also that they can connect with you. And so when you do share authentically about what you're doing, authenticity is the new currency now, I think, with people sharing from the heart and sharing what's really going on. We're sick of the lies and the fakeness out there, right? We want to see real people. And that's a beautiful thing about video.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And I said this to the first ever video marketing group that we had come through. And I said to Pam, I said, we're really blessed to be working with these people, because even now it's a rare breed of person that will get in front of a camera and bare their soul, talk to people in front of a camera. And they're the people that I still get to work with, but that's who I used to work with solely. And if you get in front of a camera, there ain't no place to hide. We can tell whether you're faking it. We can tell whether you're the slick salesperson. We can tell if you're not the right person for us. And it doesn't matter how slick the copy is, but if you can connect me eyeball to eyeball, then that's going to make a massive difference. And the way that I'm working with people to get them to know, like, and trust them quicker than ever is the direct communication videos. It's the one-to-one videos that is really making a difference.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's this trap that can come with success with, you know, followers on social media and, you know, likes on YouTube and all that kind of thing. And the trap is that you could have 50 million fans and still not feel successful, right? So you can't really look at those numbers and think, well, gee, that's really successful. You know, I think if I've impacted one person with some content that I've put out, then it's worth putting that content out, you know. And a lot of people are getting really absorbed and then even getting anxious around how many followers and likes they have, you know, and we know the algorithms are changing all the time, particularly on Facebook. The organic reach used to be 6%, now it's down to 3% of your posts. So, you know, things are changing all the time. So, you know, you can't make that mean anything about the quality of what you're putting out. If you impact one person with what you're doing, it's worth putting that out and, you know, really connecting with the people that you are putting content out with. So with what I do, I aim to inspire people. I aim to
Absolutely
have people, you know, have people see what's possible and share some great marketing tips as well and great business tips, which we're doing today. And for anyone watching this now, we've got hello, Yanni and Kerry. Kerry says, wow. Hello, Kerry. Good to see you. She says that's interesting and helpful to know. She likes the video tips there. Thank you, Kerry. So for anyone watching this right now, please pop your comments in the chat. And if you have any questions for Steve as we go, we'll be here for about another half hour or so. So feel free to pop that in there. And now you said you've transitioned now from video marketing, although video marketing is so crucial also for business nowadays. So can you let us know a bit about what you're doing now and why you made that transition?
Well, I haven't left it. I've just added to it.
Okay.
Pam and we did the video marketing way back. And it did say that I was #1 video marketing influencer of the year. It didn't say that she was #2. So
right.
we were the dynamic digital duo at one stage, and we had our own social marketing channel, and we posted videos, and we were one of the first people to break hashtags on Twitter many years ago.
Right.
Via videos and things like that. So we used to do the videos, but for her, she got more into books at that point in time, where she was writing books and she was helping people become best-selling authors. And I thought, well, yeah, that's a good thing that we should be doing as well. I should be doing. And then because I'd been, you know, traveling around and successfully speaking, I looked at the holy trinity of what I called authority marketing. Videos is the fastest way to be seen as an authority, which you would know. Books is the most powerful. If you are an author, you're an authority. And speaking is the most lucrative, because when you're speaking one-to-many now, whether it's digitally or on platforms and stages, you can certainly leverage your knowledge and skills and be paid exceptionally well for it. So I transitioned into authority marketing. So how people could stand out. It's not just because there were people that were doing videos and everything, but they weren't seen as that authority. And so I was working with them. What is it that's different about them? How can you communicate it and do all those things? And it was interesting that as confident as I was doing everything, I was not that confident in the one-to-one sales. Like most professionals, it's personal. I'm selling me. And if a no is a no, it's like, oh, shit, don't they like me? type of
Yes.
thing. And I was doing well, but I'd invested and I went to America and I was with one of the best speaker trainers. And then he just wheeled out his scientific approach to selling from stage. But I saw it as a blueprint. I saw it as, oh my God, my life has just changed. I don't think I heard another word about speaking. I was thinking, how can I use these sorts of things in my business? Came back, created my own blueprint, taught people how to use them to sell different to what he was doing. And that's one of the key things that I'm working with. Don't sell yourself, sell the system, the blueprint, the roadmap, the whatever. And that just took the stress out of selling. No more do I have to sell me. It's this. And that transitioned again, from being the authority guy to helping people with the blueprint conversion system. Like, for those of you who are out there in business and think this is the business you're going to have for life, forget it. Unless you're morphing and transforming consistently, then you really do have to keep challenging yourself on what's next. And then from the success of that and other people specifically wanting the back end of what I'm doing, I never, ever, ever wanted to be known as a sales coach because I hated them.
Right.
The sleazy guys with the slick back hair and the mustache and everything.
Yes.
But the way that I was helping people sell with this was so successful that I had to. And now I'm helping people do 6, 7, 8, and 9-figure sales using my process that I never thought I would ever do. So it has been a trip and a journey. And I keep telling, I'm still growing. I'm still transitioning and morphing. I don't know I actually do know what's coming in 2 months because Pam and I have already planned it. But it's another change. It's another growth factor. So what I'm actually doing now is helping people stand out in their crowded market and create their prominence, not just their authority, but their prominence. Now, taking it one more level, then communicate it in a clear and compelling way that people see value, be the prize, not the pursuer. Then through the back end, it's like, well, how do we communicate with them using the direct communication videos? And we'll stop in a second, we'll pull it apart, and then go through this process, which is just so fun, easy, collaborative, authentic, that everybody loves it and say, of course I've got to work with you. How can we get started? And they actually ask to buy. So
I love that.
Long way around. That's what I'm up to.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. So say you've got a brand new client. What's your discovery process like? How do you, get to what is unique about them? What is, newsworthy? Because, often people are too close to what they're doing, or what is the standout factor? What makes them prominent? So how do you go about doing that?
Well, I'm going to go back and help your people right now with one thing of what you've just said, your discovery process.
Yes.
And you were on a call what I was teaching some people the other night. And one of the biggest things that drag people down and that they need to be conscious of, what is the buying energy through the process before they get to talk to you? So you help them with media, you help them with standing out. Now, the people that you don't help, that are just the coaches, consultants, trainers, they're just the people that do the doing. They're the brown box syndrome people. They're the same as everybody else on the shelf, but there could be gold in the box, and we don't know that. So there is low energy going towards that person. I got a problem. That person might fix it. He's one of many, or she's one of many. I'll go there. There's no buying energy. That person will probably say, yeah, you could be the right person for me to talk to. Let's book in for a discovery call. Now, anybody that books in for a discovery call these days know that every industry has discovery calls. Every person that wants to sell to you has a discovery call. I'm going to get sold to. I have buying resistance before I get on the call. So anybody that calls their first call a discovery call or a free, no obligation strategy call, it's a sales call, and the people know it. The buying energy is low. Whereas if they are seen as the unique authority in the marketplace and you help them get the PR and they're standing out, then they're seen as an authority. We're going to get excited to talk to that person. Now, I'm hoping people out there would be more excited to talk to me after we've had a conversation. They realize that Steve's an authority. He's on this platform. He's up here versus somebody that hasn't got on and hasn't appeared on TV and hasn't positioned themselves as an authority. Then there's a couple of other processes to go through. So I thought I'd just share that, just that I picked up on a couple of words with
Yes.
your people that if they got the discovery call type of mentality or strategy call, please change it. And I'm sure they'll ask, what to?
Yes. That's the next question.
Because that was the question last night. It's like, well, if I
Yeah.
don't call it that, what do I call it?
Yeah.
And I'm an open book. I'm going to share exactly what I do, and if I'm getting on a call that is specifically to do my Authority Accelerator program, notice the program is an outcome-based call type of program, the Authority Accelerator. You come to me, I'm going to accelerate your authority. Then I have an Authority Unpack call valued at $297, but geez, you get it for nothing. An Authority Unpack call, he's going to unpack my authority and we're going to look at how I can stand out. That's got perceived value and I'm looking forward to it. Versus, let's get on a discovery call. Geez, the plumber had one of those. And the other one is a prominence and performance review, because I do with my, also I'm an Olympic coach. With that sort of coaching background, I help people with their own personal performance as well as their prominence. And say, well, let's get on a call and look at your prominence and performance and see what we can do. That's a $495 value. It's like, wow, yeah, I'm going to look at that. So the energy and anticipation of getting on those calls are way different than a discovery call.
Yes.
And I'll give you the last missing piece, which is quite valuable, which I've been doing really since before phones could take videos. It was when the original old camera-looking cameras took 2 megapixel videos, which we were so excited about.
And there was always that delay. There was that delay in those cameras, remember?
Yeah, and the upload, the analog dial-up. You go.
Yes. Yeah. Back in the day, gosh, we're showing our age, Steve.
Oh, yeah, my grandfather told me about it. And so you've booked in for a call with me. You've gone through. You've looked at some stuff. You've seen some videos. You're saying, "Wow, I've got to talk to this guy. I want to book in for my prominence and performance review." Click, click, click. That all comes through. Now I could either have a relatively generic one or a personal one, which, hey, Aldwyn, saw you book in for a call. Can't wait to chat to you. I've had a look at your website. I've gone and had a look at your LinkedIn profile as well. I've got some great ideas already. I can't wait. Look forward to having a chat on our call. Loving kisses, Steve. Now, I've actually missed one. I have missed one appointment for a free call in 7 years. Only one person hasn't turned up.
Wow.
And A, that's money to me because I'm not sitting there waiting. But B, they know everything about me. They've had a taste. They know what I can do for them. The call is just so much easier. We have the blueprint there. We collaborate on, hey, if we did this, what would that mean to you, your business, your life, your family, whatever? We'd collaborate on some solutions. We would agree on some valued outcomes, whether they're financial or emotional. And as they're going around, they're seeing all of this adding up in front of them. And I'm not selling. It's like, yeah, if we do this, would this happen? Yeah, you give me some values. Yeah, that'd probably be an extra, $5,000 a month to your business. Is that right? Yep. Okay, great. And we write, and all the numbers are there. And I had 4 calls out of 4, and they were from 3 different countries, just from networking event catch-ups in international networking. And all 4, in their own way, said, Steve, that's amazing. Have you got some programs? How do we work together? And that's always the icky transition. How do I mention what I do and you're going to pay me something? And say, Steve, you got some Yeah, you know what? I believe the best program for you right now would be this one. We're going to achieve this. How does that sound? Great. And then you confirm the outcomes, you confirm the value, you confirm the next steps. There is no selling. It's just confirm.
And a natural conversation.
Yeah. And once you get to a point where you say, look, if we put this system into your business, or whatever words it would be appropriate for these people, it looks like this is going to happen. It's all in front of them. That's from what you've said. Yeah. Well, does it make sense we get started sooner rather than later, or is it okay not to have that? It's like, well, it makes sense. Yeah, let's get started. Now, the minute they say that, you don't go back into sales mode. If they say, yeah, but I've got a problem with finance, or I've got a problem with that, that's okay, because you just continue the collaboration. They've said yes. Objection is an opportunity to say no. So they haven't said that. You then need to just keep collaborating on working out what is the best solution for both of you. And that's a better place to be. It's like you don't have objections. You just have obstacles. And you collaborate to get over the obstacle, not I'm going to fight you on the objection. The people, I just saw a great friend of mine that says, I'm going to run a whole seminar on how you can reduce and overcome objections. Well, the best way is not to have them.
And ideally on that call to see if you're actually a fit to be working together. If you know, you may not want to be working with some of the people you have a call with, or they may not want to be working with you. You know, they might get to the call and realize that, no, actually the product doesn't match what the need is. And, you know, that's where sales has had such a bad name over the years, is where people have felt that there's been a lot of pushy salespeople pushing products onto people that they don't need. So if they don't need them, or, you know, then people end up with buyer's remorse and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
When you structure the flow of increasing the energy, you also put in some drop-off points where they self-select. And that's what I call the cultivation process. And cultivation also includes pruning. And you talk about the people that you work with, and you also talk about the people you don't work with. And I'm just working with a wonderful client. It's probably just around the corner from you, actually. Right. And he has a business. He said, but I have all these people, but some of them aren't the right people, and I'm just talking to them all. I said, what if we did a video that just showed a little bit more about you? And, hey, great to see you, book in for your call, blah, blah, blah. It's great to see you here. Download my whatever. Here's some of the things that we do, and here's some of the things that we help you with. Now, if you're this sort of person, we really look forward to working with you. Oh, by the way, if you're this sort of person, that we may not be the best fit, but that's okay. We've got some great people that we can refer you on to. And that ding has just turned his productivity around. They think, wow, this guy tells me that I'm not the right fit, but they could refer me on to somebody who is, and they don't have to talk to that bottom level group that he doesn't want to work with, but they still think he's a great guy. And there are so many ways. And again, the value of video, I can tell you that, and you can see that I'm genuine. And you say, you know what? I know more people that need to work with you, even though I'm not right. And that also enhances the reputation, even though they said no.
Yeah, I love that. Fantastic. And you've got a whole system around this, of course, now, and you've got a challenge coming up, which I'd love to know more about as well. So would you like to share maybe some of your system, just some of the points? You mentioned some tips today, which has been awesome. So standing out online and having clients ask to buy, you do have your own blueprint. Would you be happy to share some of that today?
Yeah, well, I love alliteration, and geez, I've been remiss. I haven't used much of it today. I better throw one in. And the first thing that we do with people is look at their unique positioning and prominence. And I've got a saying that your perceived position predicts your profits. There we are. And that is gold. And particularly in your business, where you're trying to elevate their position. It's like, okay, this person does this. How can I get it out there? And if they've seen and you've got them on all these different press, their position goes up. Their positioning in the marketplace goes up, which will elevate and affect their bottom line. The next P is their packaging. And it's not just the wrapping. It's how they communicate what they do in a high valued way. And most people communicate what they do, the nuts and the bolts of their process. No one gives a damn what they do. It's what it does for me. So if you're communicating your packaging as in the number of hours you get with me, or I'm going to build your tech stuff and do all those sorts of things, then you're not communicating to them. It's what it does for them. So it's the packaging of the outcomes in a way that they clearly understand the value. Excuse me, people will pay more per outcome than per hour. That's gold. Write it down, tattoo it somewhere. People pay more per outcome than per hour. And if you're charging per hour, per session, or per something, it's a big red arrow pointing at your fees saying, please compare me on price. And that's the thing. And when we've got a blueprint, which is the next thing they need to create, your $1 million one pager, how to visually show the outcomes in a flow, not your schematic of what you'll do, but the outcomes so you can collaborate on, write on. When you can do that and show the value of what you do, you never, ever, and none of my people do this, ever mention package or price until they're looking at a significant value far greater than what they're going to pay. So it's like, well, okay, if we put this into your business, it looks like over the next 3 months, we're going to put $30,000 into your business. Yeah, great. Okay, well, the fees are this, which is significantly lower. It's like, well, it's really hard for me to say no because I've agreed and I've helped them build the 30,000 that goes into my bank, and I know it can be there, and I'm only going to pay $6,000. It'd be stupid not to. So, and that's the value of having the blueprint. It's a collaborative piece of paper or screen. I always say, you know, the best way to get people on the same page as you, or to be seen to be on the same page as your people?
What?
Have a page to get on.
That makes sense, although common sense isn't all that common. Sometimes.
Brendan, I think you might have heard Brendan Bouchard early this morning or early yesterday morning.
Yes.
Brendan always says what is common sense is not always common practice.
Yes.
And when you have that visual one pager that you can actually collaborate on, and when I teach people how to write on it and why they should write on, I'm working with a beautiful cognitive neuroscientist in America that says when you annotate, when you write on the screen or you write on something, attention and the retention of information goes up 80%. Action goes up tenfold. Because when you don't annotate, it could be the same slides as hundreds of next people are going to see. But when you annotate, that's mine. That's me. You've done that for me. So we've gone through the first 3 parts, which the next part is actually how to use it to present, collaborate, and convert, as in the transition into the buyer, which is fine. And then the last bit, which is the 5th bit of the 5-day, we call it a challenge. I call it a sprint because I'm a sprinter, is how to put that secret sauce all together and how to increase the buying energy. So you pull it together in a way that they're just salivating to get on the phone. I remember I had one person book in for a free call and they contacted me 3 times to rearrange because they didn't want to miss out on their free call. They valued it that much. They said, oh, Steve, I've got something I can't get out of it. Is it okay? I don't want to miss. Yeah. And they did it 3 times and they got on and they were so excited and we started working together. But that's the perception, the level that you want people coming to you to work with you. And I call it the coaching catapult. So we're going to catapult people's business in 5 days. It's 30 minutes of training. There's no waffle. There's no fluff. There's no external speakers to fill in time. There's no about me. Tomorrow in the group, I'm actually putting the video about me, so I don't take away from any training. It is just straight, high-value, implementable training over the 5 days. And people say, well, why are you doing this for and why are you giving it away? I'm sick of people getting ripped off. by all sorts of cookie cutter coaches and digital marketers that just go in and do the traditional stuff. And this is the better way. And it costs next to nothing to implement. They don't need high cost ads. They don't need techie funnels. They can, but they don't need it. When you change the positioning and the packaging, you're highly valued here. When you learn to sell and increase your conversions, it goes up here, and it doesn't really cost much to learn that. It costs nothing to implement it except do it. And this massive transformations. And I used to love doing it live because all the light bulbs would go off on top of the people's heads.
Amazing.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So we do have a link for that for people who would like to join. And can you just let us know when that is and how they can participate? So obviously go to this link here. Which I'm just going to
go to the link ASAP. I'm doing 3 days of sort of pre-training, a little bit of get to know what's going on, get to know the philosophy, have a look at some people that have done it before and say, okay, yeah, that's what I want. So that actually starts Australia time, because I've got people from 9 countries and 11 different time zones. Wow. So I've had to really juggle everything around. So in Australia, we're releasing the training at 8 a.m. And I will let you know that they will have an opportunity if they want to. There's going to be a group mentoring at 9 a.m. Each day for the next 5 days. So on Monday, the 16th, we start the pre-training. So there's 3 days of that. And then we get into the 5 days of training. And we're going, just as we said, through the positioning, the packaging, how to create your blueprint, how to sell it, and how to have people excited to buy from you. The training is pre-recorded because I wanted not to be distracted. I wanted to be in the group and answer people as they come through. But then for those who really want the high implementation, they could actually come along to some group mentoring, which will be live in a closed Zoom group. And they could actually score one of the hot seats. And I remember doing one 2 years ago for a dentist. We did a hot seat. It took 5 minutes. We created a brand new program for him. We created a brand new way of selling things and added $1 million to his business from a 5-minute hot seat.
Wow.
So get your butt there.
So get down. Well, Kerry's already asking where's the link. So I've just popped that in there, Kerry. You should see that in the comments. And for anyone else looking for that link. So tomorrow morning, it's all on for 5 days. So
no, it's Monday, our time, we're doing the pre-warm-up for 3. And then Wednesday, I think it is, Wednesday or Thursday. Once you register, you'll see that the timetable has just been put up there with our own time zone. And then we do 5 days. So really, you only need to commit, if you want to, the half an hour to do the training. But it is a sprint. 3 days after the event, the 5 days of training, for the next 3 days, I'm doing live reactive training. So I'm going to see what's needed, what's necessary, and I'm going to go in live and do the training and show ways of how they could accelerate it on the way out. At the end of that, it closes. The training comes down, the group closes, the sprint is over. There is a finish date, because this is all about results and implementation. Get in, go hard. I'm a sprinter. A game of table tennis. Sorry, I nearly swore and said ping pong. A game has, if you're in front at the end, you win. If you come along and you implement by the end of it, you win. If you sit and say, I'll come back to it, if you do that in life, you're not going to go anywhere. Do it and do it hard, commit and go for it.
So who is this ideally for?
The people who actually get the best value out of this are those who are like you and me, who sell their knowledge, their skills, or their expertise. It's not a box of fruit. It's not it's the harder it is to sell, and the more competitive the market is, the greater the value the person is going to get. And I could probably know that there's people out there thinking, I'm only just getting started, or I'm about to get started. Is this good for me? One of the greatest things that people get out of the way that I do work is clarity. So as they're going through and I'm asking the questions and giving the homework and the things that they have to do, which, by the way, you actually do have to do some homework on the way through. It's like, okay, I now understand what I have to do. I now understand what my business is and the way forward. So those who sell their knowledge, their skills, or their expertise and have trouble communicating it and getting paid what they believe they're worth, they've just got to be here.
Sounds amazing. Is this the first time you're doing something like this?
The first time I've run, I'll call a spade a spade. It's a challenge. It's done differently. It's done my way.
Yes.
It's the first time I've done it like this, but it's the exact same principles and philosophies that's built all of my businesses for the last 30 odd years. It's the exact same training that I'm working with my high level people that are selling 7, 8, and 9 figure programs and services. So they're getting some highly valued information, and virtually they're getting it for nothing.
Amazing. So is there a free level and a VIP level with the mentoring?
They can turn up and get all this information for free. The information, the training, the everything is absolutely free. Those who want to just have that one-on-one, or not actually one-on-one, group mentoring and having it done live straight after the actual training, then there will be a fee. That's expected. You get a better service. You actually get better results.
Yes.
But apart from that, it's less than a dinner for two, and we can transform your business.
Those who pay attention, they say. You will definitely be invested more. And they were just saying that on a call I was on with America this morning. They were saying, it's proven that the VIPs who pay that little bit, they actually lean in and they get more out of the training. However, you can do it for free, and there is that option there. So that's fantastic. That'll be brilliant for people to get that knowledge, because you really are a wealth of knowledge, Steve. You've done so much over the years and helped create so many successful people. Could you maybe just share one or two of your success stories with your clients?
One was the dentist. And again, the difference between him, he went from an A dentist to we created the program. It's the Teeth for Life program. He's trademarked it. He's run that through his business. He's gone from here to here. Another one in the super competitive space of mortgage broking. We took him from being a mortgage broker to a property portfolio strategist and created different things for him. He tripled his business in a very short period of time. Another one up on the Gold Coast, just probably up the road from you, a podiatrist, super brown box, super competitive market, turned his title around, his positioning around because of the way that we uncovered that he did things a little different. So there's so many different ways to find your uniqueness. And those who do other programs with me, we've got a checklist of 27 different ways we could find your uniqueness. He became a structural podiatrist, changed nothing than what he did except the title. Southeast Queensland's leading structural podiatrist, worked a lot with people who wanted to get ready for fun runs and marathons. We put an athlete's performance pack together and charged a 20% premium and a longer period of time to work. And I've got a beautiful video and testimony from him that we doubled his clients within 7 months and made a massive impact on his cash flow because of the increase in the fees, increase in retention, and more clients coming through. So he had actually, within the 12 months that we worked together, he had to move twice to increase the size of his practice. I guess you could call him a success story.
Fantastic. Wow, that is some brilliant results there. Now, what are some of the things you do, Steve, to maintain your peak performance?
I've got a rule that my feet do not touch the ground of a morning until I can find at least one thing to be excited about.
I like that.
I never get, well, because I'll never get out of the wrong side of the bed, but I never have my feet touch the floor unless I'm in a state of I'm excited about something. Then I've got a routine, and I'm actually going to share it later as well. I got a routine that I have my water, and there's other things in the water. You know, there's the lemon, the carb soda, and apple cider vinegar, and all those sorts of little concoctions. I'm deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, because of a nighttime we're shallow breathing and oxygen is starved to the brain. Most people don't know, but the first thing you should do is diaphragmatic breathing. I do cross patterning, which starts stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, which actually stimulates a lot of creativity. While my coffee's brewing, I'm doing that. It takes like 2 minutes to do the cross patterning, the water and the breathing. Grab my coffee, sit down with my journal, my gratitude journal, and really am grateful for what I've got, where I am, what I'm doing. Depending on what day it is, I will keep doing that. And as I'm watching the sun come up over the beautiful Balmoral, then I'm very creative during that time. I don't get onto social media or anything. It's my time before that starts. Or if it's my cycling days, I will be out and I'll be on the bike by 5:45, and I'll do 90 minutes out cycling around the not so flat area of Mossman, doing lots and lots of hills. But that's the thing, is I live by 4 B's: brain, body, brand, business. My brain comes first, my mindset, my body. If you don't look after your body and it falls apart and it's not performing itself at its optimum, neither are you. The brand, you are your brand. You live and die by your brand. I'm not talking to, we're talking on the same page here. And then it's business. The business will take care of itself if you take care of those first 3. Most people will just think business, business, business. They end up with the wrong mindset. Their body falls apart. They're crap at their branding, and they're wondering why their business is going downhill, and even though they're spending so much time on it. Do it in that order. Your life will be great.
And they say happy wife, happy life as well. So you've been married a long time. How long have you been with Pam now?
It's coming up for the big one, 2-0 next year. We've been together. And the secret to our success is my office is 2 floors below hers. And I put Skype on do not disturb.
All right. So have some quality time alone, and that you then appreciate each other more when you get back together.
Yeah, it really is difficult living and working together. And where we are now, it's a great place for this. I've got a complete floor to myself, which is perfect. And she's got the view. She overlooks beautiful Balmoral, which is great. But we run our separate businesses, and as a sneak drop something, which I'm not allowed to, there will be a super exciting project being released in July, where we actually get back together again, because she has some amazing programs that I don't really leverage and include in mine, and her people don't really get too much access to what I do. So we're amalgamating, and we're putting some huge things together that will just help people so much.
Fantastic. And before we wrap up, I'd love to know, what are some of the biggest lessons you've had in business that you can pass on to people maybe who might be struggling, or maybe they're not dealing well with COVID, or haven't, pivoted or, moved with the times, or maybe they're at a crossroads? What's some advice you give people who may be at a bit of a crossroads or feeling stuck right now in business?
I opened my health club without really knowing too much about business. I had a good idea. I hocked my parents' home. We invested all of our money. They had faith in me, and I was damn happy the day we paid everything back and we knew we were going to live again. But one of the first things that I did, as I knew that once I built it, they did not come,
Yes.
I invested heavily into a marketing campaign, a marketing program on tapes and a book, the cassettes. And I spent, I think it was $1,500 back in 1983. The year before, with my running proceeds, I bought a brand new, good quality sports car for $5,500. So you can imagine the investment in the marketing that I spent. That changed my life. That changed my business. I learned so much out of that, not to become just a gym owner. And I created programs. I created niches. I created 2 of those international programs. I did a kids program into 5 countries, a weight loss program into 2, a seniors program that was adopted by most of the nursing homes across New South Wales and the eastern coast of Australia. All because I did a course, a program that sparked some things. I went to America to do a speaking course and came back with a whole new way to do business and sales. So it's not always, what am I going to buy that I'm going to get directly? It's, what are the aha moments that are going to trigger when I get in and I'm talking to other people? So the first thing was, you can be good at what you do, but unless you know how to get yourself out there, no one's going to give a damn about you. The next thing about what you were saying, and it's a well-used word, pivoting within the COVID situation. I hate the word pivot because I looked up the definition, and pivoting is virtually pivoting around a stationary central point. And I'm all about momentum.
Right.
I am about changing direction. I am all about, yes, change, adapt, but keep your momentum going and be agile. Be prepared to adapt. The minute COVID hit, I had I had a drop in like something 30% of my income like that. A couple of people said, oh, I just can't work with you. I said, it's fine, understand. And what happened is I've got a super group that we have a networking event with. And they were saying, everybody's been told to pivot. They've got to go online. They've got to do this. And I said, that they've been told to pivot, go online and shoot videos. I said, yeah. So I resurrected one of my previous courses, the Online U Factor, Video Mastery, put it all together. So I kept the momentum, but I sidestepped into a new group here. And then you just keep being agile, adapt. And what I'm doing now is, because of the results that I'm getting with people, there are more people asking for what I'm doing with how to get this energy up, that I've done another sidestep into. This is a new way that I do things. Am I uncomfortable and scared? Hell yeah. I've not done this type of program before, but have I done it? Hell yeah. Am I going to do it 100% right? Nah. So what? I'm going to have a go. And that's the thing. I just sent out an email to my people, and one of the things that I quoted in that is Michael Jordan: just elevate, decide in the air.
And were you sharing the story the other day? I heard about when a plane is going off to a destination, that it's often not going in a straight line, that it it ebbs and flows a little bit. It just goes. Is it about 99? Is that, were you sharing that story?
No, but I know it, and it's so appropriate. It's like a plane is always correcting and correcting and correcting and correcting. You look at, if you looked at the actual minute fly path, not the crap they throw on your screen to keep you happy, is like, oh, I'm going straight. No, you're not. Is the wind here? And it's automatic. And that's what we do in life.
Yes.
We get thrown a curveball. We get thrown all sorts of things. It's a matter of adapt, and what can I do to make the most out of it, and who else is feeling this, and how can I better support and serve them, and why am I doing this? I know people are struggling. Look, I did a video and I called it the coaching conundrum. COVID has thrown up more coaching opportunities than any other time that we've been on this planet. There are so many new coaching opportunities, consulting and training and servicing people. There are so many coaching courses now available for people to go and get a certificate to say you're a coach and to say, yeah, I can go and help people. And now I'm sure you get it as well on LinkedIn. There are so many people that are saying, hey, I can get your first 10 clients while you sleep. I've got this magic how I can take you to a 6 and a 7-figure coaching business. There are so many charlatans out there that are just doing all of this, pardon the French, bloody crap that gets me frustrated. It's like, no, unless you get the front and the back right, don't worry about the middle. Don't spend any money on the marketing and all of those sorts of things. And if you're still a brown box and you're marketing a brown box, you're going to waste a lot of money. And if you can't sell well, if you're not confident and you can't take them to that process that they're going to work with you. And I've seen so many people that have people that really want to work with them, but they can't get them to the point of agreement around how they're going to work together. They just get so scared. And I say, I don't want to sell. Well, I'll leave you with one thing. My definition of selling that I've lived for 30 odd years, professionally servicing other people's needs for a mutually beneficial gain. Professionally servicing their needs, doing what's right by them, and the mutually beneficial gain is they get a result and you get some sort of a reward. I'm giving this program to multitudes of people. If all they do is get a result, implement it, change their business and change their life, I'm still going to feel good because I've helped a lot of people. If they join with me and do the VIP and they'll get a bigger result, I'm going to feel great as well. There's going to be some other ways that people can work with me down the track, and I'm not sure what that would look like because I'm not sure what the people would actually need. And if they work with me again to get a bigger result, I'm really going to feel good. And my goal is to be able to help more and more people, have more and more people rave over the system and get out there and impact the lives of those people. That's my why. I'll get off my soapbox now.
I love it. That is very cool. They say there's no greater purpose than being of service, and creating those win-win situations is absolutely the way to go. In fact, it's one of the habits of highly successful people, actually, is creating win-win situations. Kerry's just sharing here that Tony Robbins shares the story about the aeroplane. Right, I knew I heard it somewhere the other day.
It was probably yesterday or this morning.
Yes, it was probably, the other day. We were up at 4 a.m. doing Tony Robbins.
Oh, toughen up. Mine started at 1 this morning.
Own your future challenge.
Yeah. I'm with a group program of executive networking in America that starts at 1 a.m. my time.
Oh, you may as well stay awake.
I'm going to probably miss my Friday night footy, but that's okay.
Okay. Maybe record it. It's been an absolute joy to have you here today, Steve. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. For anyone, of course, who wants to do the challenges, very quickly again, if you could just share about the challenge. We have put the link into the chat.
Yeah, look, it starts, sorry for butting in, Aldwyn. I know it starts, well, it's basically the pre-training. Jump in as soon as you can because I'm putting stuff in there right away. We've got a great Facebook group from 9 countries already in there. It's not one of these, not like Tony and Dean's that have got thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. We've got a couple hundred people that are going to come in over the next couple of days. It is all about how I can help you create your unique positioning and prominence so that you do stand out and attract quality people. Help you package and communicate what you do so people value it. So you finally get paid what you're worth. Create your $1 million one-pager, which is your blueprint. So you can easily share how you do things. Learning to sell the new way, and that's not the hard way, the new way. And the last piece of it is going to be how you can increase the buying energy so people actually come asking to buy. There's going to be some extra bonus things where I'm going to be doing some live training as well. Start with jumping on board and you get all the information. You get the whole training for absolute free. There's going to be some other options, but just come along, have a look. and see what you want to do. And it'd be my pleasure to be able to serve and change the way that you do things.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Steve. What a fantastic thing to offer people out there right now, and to share all your knowledge for free like that. That's phenomenal. So do check out that link. I've just popped it in the chat again. So you can come and join Steve on his coaching catapult sprint coming up this week with all over the world. Sounds amazing. I wish you all the best with that, Steve. Any final words you'd like to say before we wrap up today?
No, not really, except if you want to just drop in my email, which I've cut and paste there as well. They may have a different question. It may not be the right time. They may just have another question. And I'm one of these guys that says, if you email me, I'm going to email you back. I'll answer your question because I know we're not going to have thousands of people. So if you've got some sort of question that I could potentially help you with, if you've thought of something and say, Steve, what would happen here and would this work, then feel free. It's just simple, steve@stevebrossman.com. Aldwyn's put it in there for you. Do that. But the email that I put out to my people, if you have any thought about coming to join us, don't sit on the fence. Because I wrote today, the only thing that you get when you sit on the fence is splinters in your bum.
Yes.
And I ain't going to come and pick them out. So if you jump one way and you come and you find it's not for you, you've found out very quickly, you're not going to die wondering, then just go the other way. But just don't sit on the fence.
Fantastic, Steve. And your long-term goals after this, what are any long-term goals you'd like to share before we wrap up? Kerry's laughing there.
Can I... years ago, when we were sitting down here at Balmoral and we were talking with our two things. It's here. This is the story about it. The environmental product that I invented and sold 4 million of them was a plastic bum.
Oh, I love those plastic bums. I remember those plastic bums.
It's a portable personal ashtray, and everybody else was selling portable ashtrays. We sold cigarette butt litter reduction solutions that had the butts out in it. So we sold the solution, not the product. Everybody was trying to sell the product. We sold millions around the world. We came into a market that already had 12 competitors and smashed them by selling the solution, not the pieces. So we were sitting down here and we were talking to the person who was going to be our distributor in America. And she said, Steve, what are your goals? And I don't have a clue where it came from. I just don't have a clue. But somehow I blurted out, to be the answer of a quiz show question. And then I thought about it and I thought, that's deep. To have done something impactful enough that you are a question.
Yeah, I love that.
So
that's fantastic.
That somehow is going to be, it could be that, hey, I'm the guy that sold 4 million plastic bums around the world, but I'm looking for something bigger and better than that.
I love it. So you're just slightly ambitious there, Steve, which is fantastic. And just slightly ambitious, which is gold. Kerry loves that. She's saying that's gold. Yeah, absolutely. And
thanks for staying with us, Kerry. Love you lots.
Yeah, thank you, Kerry, and everyone else who's been watching this as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to pose a question to everyone watching this. How do you want to be remembered? Now, this is a great question to ponder. How do you want to be remembered? Because a third of people die by the age of 65, and that comes around pretty damn quickly. So, not that either of us ever are there yet, Steve, but it does. The years fly by, right? The years fly by. So how do you want to be remembered, and what is it that lights you up? And what Steve's offering here is absolutely amazing. If you want to take your business to another level, if you want customers asking to buy, takes all the pressure out of all of it, and people come to you asking to do business with you. It's a beautiful thing. You will magnetize clients using Steve's system. So definitely check out the challenge. check Steve out as well, stevebrossman.com, and his email there is in the chat as well. We've got the link to the challenge, so come and check it out and stay connected as well. Google either of us on social media. You can connect with me on Eventbrite. I've got all my events listed there. Also, I have a workshop coming up called Free Publicity Secrets, which is on May 20 next week, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 4-hour free workshop. And I do monthly mass media tribe events as well as the Global Good News Challenge every month to inspire more gratitude and good news in the world, to lift the energy and decrease depression and suicide rates. So you can be the change you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi says, and shine bright and light up all those around you, as I say. So here's to you being the best version of yourself, loving life and making the most of it. Hope you've enjoyed today. Thank you so much, Steve. Once again, I could keep chatting with you for ages, but we do need to move on.
Yeah,
So
you can tell that I hate what I do.
Yeah.
And for those who are going to come along, you got to come and do the live stuff, because if this is a blast, wait till I really get on a roll. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you so much. You're doing a great service to the people out there. What we're doing is so aligned and so congruent. And so I wish you all the best in everything that you're doing. The people that you work with are in good hands, and I look forward to another chat again real soon.
Fantastic, Steve. Thank you so much. I'm sure it's going to be a very successful challenge. So hop on while you can. It's phenomenal value there. And thank you for all that you do, Steve, and that all you've done up till now, and you keep delivering, as well as your beautiful wife, Pam. So I take my hat off to you. I think you're awesome and really wish you every success moving forward. So we will chat again more soon, no doubt. Thanks so much for joining us. And do let us know, how do you want to be remembered? Pop into the chat, and any questions for us too, we'll come back to the chat as well. Thanks so much. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.